I have to say, this is probably the weirdest time to talk about a Warner Brothers movie about super pets of all things. I'm just going to assume you haven't heard of the clusterfuck that's going on with the Warner Brothers Discovery thing recently.
No, I haven't. The last headline on YouTube that I saw was that their Batgirl production has been canceled. I don't know if it was a show or a movie or
It
what.
was a movie. It was a $90 million movie that was pretty much done.
And
Uh,
why cancel it now? But whatever.
as a tax write-off, the new creator, the new owner of HBO got their fame through Honey Boo Boo, and apparently has some very early 2000s views on how television works, and it's a clusterfuck, to put it lightly. Yep, if you want to dive in that rabbit hole, go check that out. Meantime, Superpets.
I'll- it's better than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think I was going to have as good of a time in this movie as I did.
I thought it was very aggressively mediocre, but I also enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. I'll give it credit, but it's also like I laughed more than I thought I was going to. A lot of it didn't really work for me, but at the same time, I was like, all right, there are parts where effort was involved. I can see
Yes.
that.
And it has a really good voice cast. I laughed at almost each of Natasha Lyonne's lines.
Which one was Natasha Leone?
The turtle.
She was the best one. Yeah, fair. I like, and that is actually one thing I did want to talk about, because like this actually inspired a pretty good Gizmodo article that says like, hey, can we give voice acting back to voice actors instead of like celebrity stunt casting that is like in every fucking anime movie nowadays? Which is like I like Dwayne Johnson. Like he seems like a good actor for the most part, but like he seems for the most part really uncomfortable in this. Like to me,
What makes you say that?
because like when he's not doing his Dwayne Johnsonisms, he has to be just kind of a regular dog. He sounds really uncomfortable and just kind of phoning in a little bit. Like it does kind of feel like, okay, well, I'm just Dwayne Johnson, so I'm just gonna do what I usually do, and that's gonna be fine. But it's like it doesn't really seem to fit what they're going for here, in my opinion.
Okay.
But it's like, so I don't know. It feels like it's trying to. It just I don't know. Like compared to Maui, which is something he was like a voice cast he was really good at, because I was a
That
role
that
specifically tailored for
was
him.
yes, that role was a very good marriage or meeting of voice and character.
Well, yeah, because it was a character specifically designed for him, but this is
Okay.
a character that's not really designed for him, but it was made by his wife's production team.
I did not know that.
Like yeah, the whole like 7 Points studio scenes, like that's his wife's company.
Okay.
Like who's by the way like one of the biggest agents in Hollywood right now. Like I think she has like him and like Henry Cavill under her purview. But
So Black Adam and Superman. Got it.
yeah, pretty much, which is like probably why this got theatrical release instead of like a free streaming thing, is because like the Rock's company helped foot the bill. This is one of those interesting things you learn just by being in the culture zeitgeist. I don't know, it's interesting to me. But
No, it is. I'm just out of the loop.
that's fair, and like God knows the shit is boring otherwise, so like I get it. But anyway, so like I kind of get it from that perspective. It's like, okay, I get why he's crypto, I get where he's doing that, but just based on the script they were given, it's kind of like, I don't know, Dwayne Johnson would not be my first choice for this. And same for Kevin Hart, but I also just don't like Kevin Hart all that much, so that's a personal bias there, I'll acknowledge.
Uh, they, the two have done a lot of projects together, so odds are, if you get one, you're gonna get the other.
I know, and I'm just a little tired of that personally. And again, personal bias. I don't like Kevin Hart, which is an open secret on this channel. But like, I don't know, I'm getting a little tired of that duo. I kind of wish they do more of their own thing. But like, okay, fair enough. They like to work together. I'm not going to argue too much with that. As far as voice casting goes, like, yeah, I would have liked to see more like voice actors get more starring roles as opposed to just like what celebrities we can get to work in a field they're not entirely comfortable in, and then deal with the awkwardness that kind of results from that. You see a lot of it nowadays. None of it's like ultra distracting, but on occasions like this, it does feel a little distracting to me.
He didn't have many lines, but Keanu Reeves made a surprisingly fun Batman.
I did like Keanu Reeves' Batman. Yeah, like he did get the biggest laugh out of me, I think.
Yeah, me too. There's a line, and this isn't a spoiler for the plot, where he says whatever role Morgan Freeman was cast for.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I'm always like I'm always a fan whenever like any kind of animated feature takes pot shots at Batman for how ultra serious he's often treated. That's always gonna get a laugh out of me. Like, I'm never gonna deny that. Like I think just the part like I was the only one that laughed at this joke was early on when they have like the whole like montage of Superman and Crypto like doing superhero stuff, and then the Justice League comes in, they all have their intros, and then all the Justice League is like watching Superman and Crypto like be like man and dog kind of thing, and then Batman just stands there and goes, "I miss my parents."
Yes. that was very honest.
Yeah, so like I don't know, like shit like that I do just appreciate it. Like that's why the Harley Quinn Batman from the TV show is honestly my favorite interpretations of Batman. Which you haven't seen that show, you should watch. It's pretty good.
I haven't. I can only afford to pay for 2 streaming services a month.
Well, to be fair, given what's happened with HBO Discovery right now, probably best to hang back for a while until whatever clusterfuck that results in is it's gotta crash. It's already crashing and burning so hard. I
wonder if they can pass it off to a new CEO. But
that's the talk is like, so when's Disney gonna get involved? It's been the current joke.
Then Disney Disney properties are going to have curse words.
Like, here's how bad it is right now, like how much of a hole they're digging for themselves. This is gonna be a slight tangent, but they had a presentation for stockholders yesterday, where they showed like HBO, where like scripted shows, like mostly for boys. This is where fandoms come from. Discovery, reality TV shows, non-scripted shows, mostly for the girls. Like it is so early 2000s sexism.
Most of what I watch are scripted shows. I think that
no, like that. No, you're right. You are right. Like if whatever anger you're feeling, you're right. Like this is a old school Trump supporter, white boomer who is now in charge of one of the biggest media libraries in America.
This man is obviously out of touch, has no women in his life, and hasn't gotten laid in years.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's replaced all the people of color and women in the program with white men. So, it's going great for them. Which is also why stock prices have plummeted, which is kind of justifying its own way. So it's going to be very curious how this turns out. It's bad, is my point. Which on one hand, it's like, it's so weird talking about the most aggressively harmless like Warner Brothers product they could have released in the most gigantic clusterfuck that Warner Brothers has seen since the AT&T merger. It makes it just a fascinating product to talk about. Just so fascinating to see where it's going to go from here. Because even this movie ends with a shameless Black Adam commercial, basically.
Oh, was that after the credits?
That was a post-credit thing. I didn't see it either. I just read about it later.
I didn't stay for that.
Neither did I. I just read about it later.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, so yeah, because like that's the thing about this. Like for any complaints I might have about like voice casting not being ideal or whatever, like whatever nitpicks I can make about the story, this movie is ultimately harmless. Like I'm not gonna say
it's harmless. It's a little predictable. It has a lot of familiar tropes and beats and you can easily see where it's going. It's very tongue-in-cheek in that way. It doesn't really hide what it's going for. It doesn't really keep anything under wraps. It does a little bit more telling than showing. But
Yeah, considering what
it
Warner Bros. Reed you get. Oh, sorry. Go ahead and finish your thought.
but it is, like you said, harmless. There are jokes for the members of the adult audience that I laughed at. Natasha Leone as a turtle is a lot of fun, and I I liked the pig character and how in awe and respectful she was of this universe's version of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
uh, so there are things that I like in this,
Yeah.
even if it might be a little forgettable.
Yeah, like I was kind of forgetting about it like an hour after I saw it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I did see that today." Uh,
I'll be honest. I've been trying to catch up on movies in theaters this week. I finally saw The Black Phone on Wednesday night
nice.
because it left last night. Yes.
Oh, it's a good movie.
I wanted. I've been really been wanting to see Where the Crawdads Sing, so I got up early this morning on my day off so I could see that, and then I saw League of Super Pets an
Any
hour
good?
later.
Because we haven't seen that one yet.
Huh? Where the Crawdads Sing?
Yeah.
Uh, are you asking me if I liked it or?
Yeah, I'm asking if you liked it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It. I guess it's adapted from a novel. It it left me with a few slightly unanswered questions, but it has some beautiful cinematography. And I really enjoyed it. I liked the song Taylor Swift wrote for the closing credits.
That was one of those movies that came out while I was in San Diego, so I was like, "Well, that's not happening." What's probably gonna happen because I feel like I've missed so many fucking movies this year, just because what's been going on.
Yes. Like I said, I've been trying to catch up on movies this week. I still haven't seen Top Gun Maverick, so I'm gonna try to catch that in Bullet Train next week.
Oh yeah,
And
Bullet Train did. No, fuck, I gotta watch that one too.
yeah, so after I see those, then I think I'll be caught up to speed. But I saw two movies on my day off today. I saw Marcel the Shell on Tuesday, and I saw Black Telephone on Wednesday night. So I've been trying to catch up on movies this week.
Yeah, we're probably gonna do what Muha has this tradition every year before we record our best and worst list, where he just where they just watch just a bunch of movies back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just like live text me their experience, whatever bad thing they're watching. So I was like, crap, now I'm gonna do that this year too, because I'm so behind on all the movies that came out this year.
I I wanted to ask you if I might join you guys for the best and worst this year.
Let's put a pin in that thought till January, because I don't know what's gonna happen between now and then.
Sounds good.
Yeah, because even the like logistics of getting everyone together at the same time for what turns out to be hours of recording is a lot.
Yes.
I think even just between me and Muha, it was still like over 2 hours long per video. So I don't know, adding a third person to that, no offense, would just make that 3 hours. Not saying your opinion is invalid or anything like that. I was saying to figure logistics.
I understand and I respect that. I just miss you guys, and I have a feeling all three of us would have the same number one for the best of.
I mean, we already acknowledged that it's not going to be topped, so that's not gonna be a problem. Anyway, Super Pets.
After all those tangents, after my unofficial Where the Crawdads Sing review.
Yeah, really. It counts to throw on the list. Don't have to watch it now. Anyway, but yeah, and like I guess one thing I could talk about, because I'm trying to like, always one movies like it's just pretty harmless. Like there's not a whole lot to say. I guess like one missed opportunity, which I'm surprised they didn't go for. Is like some of these characters are actually from the comics. Like Ace is actually in the comics.
The Bat Hound.
The Ace the Bat Hound, yep, real character. Crypto obviously is real character.
Sorry to interrupt before I lose this thought.
Okay.
I did not like how cats were villainized in this, and I think Batcat would have been awesome. Sorry, go on.
There is not a bat cat to my knowledge. There is a bat cow. I'm not kidding. You can Google this.
Oh my god.
To be clear, though, it was made as a joke.
Okay, that's an effective joke. Okay, sorry. Go on. Ace is an actual character from the comics.
Actual character. Crypto is obviously an actual character. Chip is an actual character, except he's an alien. He's not an actual squirrel. Okay. But he is a Green Lantern. Nice. But there's one of those weird comic lore things that it's weird that I know this, but Wonder Woman has a pet kangaroo in the comics. So it's a little weird they change it to a pig.
Well, pigs are cute and smart, and you're more likely to find a pet pig in the United States than you are a kangaroo.
Yes, I acknowledge that, but think of the story possibilities. Just having a kangaroo in a pet shop already introduces like interesting angles to take it.
Yes, that would have been amusing. I'm not gonna lie.
Again, I acknowledge like super nitpick, but still would have been amusing. But yeah, overall, I think it's like a lot of the voice acting stuff I'm talking about is most noticeable with like characters like Lex, who just in our case it just does not feel comfortable doing voice acting.
That voice sounded familiar, but I couldn't quite place it.
Mark Maron, I think his name is.
Right, the comedian.
Yeah.
Who was on Glow.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Mark Maron. So it's like again, just doesn't really fit. There's a lot of other ones that kind of feel a little off. But that being said, I would like to see Keanu Reeves as Batman again, if only just for the meta jokes. And I do appreciate
the meta jokes were one of the highlights.
Yeah, me. Like I think I just appreciate. Oh, that's what I was talking about earlier. Like this is also reason why the Harley Quinn Batman is my favorite interpretations is because they just portray him as just like this kind of spoiled, ultra serious man child.
That's what he is.
Yeah, but it's more like play for laughs as opposed to be taken ultra serious.
Okay.
So instead of like Robert Pattinson going, "Shut up, Alfred, you're not my dad," meant to be taken seriously, this one has Batman just going, me.
All right.
So it's deliberately played for laughs, pointing out like, yeah, when you actually break this down, it is pretty silly, which it is, and you guys need to get over that.
If my boyfriend updates his HBO Max account, we'll have to give the Harley Quinn series a shot.
You'd like it. I think it's up your alley. But yeah, I think easily like the best joke in the movie for me was just when the Justice League, when they're captured, this isn't a spoiler, it's in the trailer. And they're talking about like the pets they had over the years, and then like, Batman, did you have a pet? And Batman's like, I don't like animals. When I was a boy, I fell into a well, and I still remember the bats screaming as they flew past, taking pieces of my chubby boy flesh, or something like that. And I have this big long monologue where the color changes and all these things, and Superman just goes, "Yeah, I think you need a pet." So like a little shit like that. There's some good like jokes in there every now and again that I appreciated. So like it's one half like kind of a really relatively safe but pretty lazy kids movie. On the other hand, is they still got that like, the more Warner Brothers touch and charm that you kind of appreciate from their animated works. They do good animation works more often than not. So it's kind of weird to see one that's kind of in that middle ground of like, this feels like a cash grab at the same time somebody cared at some point. And you certainly got to give her credit for like working with scale. Just where it goes eventually. And I also did appreciate the billionaire joke. I thought that was funny.
Yes.
Yeah. But beyond that, I don't really have a lot else to say about this. For the most part, it's pretty safe. Like meets expectations, I guess, for this kind of mid-tier animated movie.
Now, here's my question. Would you be more likely to rewatch this or The Bad Guys?
Honestly, probably The Bad Guys, honestly. I think Bad Guys had a bit more charm to it. I feel like everyone kind of felt more natural. Also had Mark Maron, oddly enough. Had a bit more charm to it, had a bit more personality, I think. a bit more distinctive style.
Because I kind of felt like this was slightly similar in terms of the whole team up and
Sure.
and, and anthropomorphic animals and
Was this kind of anthropomorphic because they're not actually like looking as people; they're just talking.
point.
Yeah. I only know some people in the community might push back on that, so I make that distinction clear. Uh,
Sorry.
no apology necessary.
But yeah, I agree. I did feel like they were slightly similar. Animal team ups, fighting bad guys. No, no repetition intended there.
No, not taken. Yeah, I'm like bad guys definitely had more flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think than this does, and it had a more clear idea of how it wanted to stand out. Which this one kind of feels like it's run by an algorithm to a certain extent.
Yeah, I did pick up on a lot of the tropes. Like I said, it is almost a paint by numbers story.
Yeah, nothing really surprising. Like it's all pretty standard stuff.
Yeah,
I think if I had one last note for this one is parents, please don't take your 1-year-old to a movie theater. It's clear that they're not going to be calm at all during the entire movie.
that's one reason why I'm glad that I caught an earlier showing today. Because yes, there were some young children behind me, but at least their parents were reasonable enough to keep them behaving for the most part.
Like if it's just like the bare minimum you can ask. And I know like having kids is hard, and I'm definitely not gonna fucking like
I don't have any kids. I'm not in a place to judge. I'm just a woman who likes to see movies by herself sometimes.
Yeah, so do I, but God forbid. But yeah, I think it's all I really have to say about this. Is there anything else you want to touch on?
No, not really. Just Keanu Reeves and Natasha Lyonne were a lot of fun in this, even if their parts were rather fleeting.
Yeah. So, like I said, mid-tier anime movie, not great, not terrible, just kind of like, it's a safe, reliable kids movie. You know what you're getting into. There's not a lot of surprises. A few more laughs than I expected, which is more than I can ask for this kind of movie. And it's
there
not
are a
nearly
few jokes thrown in for adults.
Yeah, a few jokes thrown in for adults, and not nearly as cynical as say Minions 2. So
that I am not going to see.
I don't blame you. So yeah. I think it's all we got for this one. So apparently I need to watch Bullet Train this week, which is I just was like, fuck. All right. And Prey comes out on Hulu, which I don't usually do stream movies, but that one I want to see, so I'm probably gonna do that one.
Okay.
Do you know what that one is?
No.
It is like apparently the best Predator movie since the original.
Oh, my boyfriend mentioned that.
Where apparently it's like the first Predator that came to Earth, and it was like Native Americans versus the Predator, which is kind of cool. So
that does sound kind of cool.
With a female lead, even better. So yay. So
right.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna watch that later, and we'll catch up on everything eventually at some point down the line. So until then, thank you all for watching. See y'all later.